Hello everybody, Math 9 Quarter 1, Week 1 lesson plans. Let's go right into page 1 of Math 9 Quarter 1, Week 1 lesson plan. So we have PowerPoint edition and then we have video edition. Students, put your name date here on your lesson plan sheet. Let's go right into our lesson plans for Week 1, Math 9 Quarter 1. And then here is the lessons that we're going to do for week 1. We have 1.1 evaluating expressions, classwork homework part 1. And then we have 1.1 evaluating expressions, classwork homework part 2, and then we go into 1.2 order of operations, classwork homework part 1, and then 1.2 order of operations, classwork homework part 2, and then we go into 1.3 write expressions, classwork homework part 1, and then 1.3 write expressions, classwork homework part 2. And then we have our pretest here, which is chapter 13 of pre-algebra mid-chapter quiz. Students, you have to pass this quiz to get into Math 9. And then our standards is CC, Common Core 9 through 12, and .Q.1 is our standard. And then A.SSE.1 lesson plan, interpreting expressions in context. So our intro to this lesson is use CC, which is classwork, or rather Common Core 9 through 12, point N, point Q, point 1. Use units as a way to understand problems and to guide the solution of multi-step problems. Choose and interpret units consistently in formulas. Choose and interpret the scale and the origin in graphs and data displays. So that's your Common Core 9 through 12, M.Q.1. That's going to be the major standard that we use here in week 1 of Math 9 Quarter 1. And then our learning targets are: identify and name parts of an algebraic expression, terms, factors, and coefficients. Explain in words what each part of an expression means in a real-world scenario. Rewrite parts of an expression as a single entity, which is called chunking and teacher talk, to simplify interpretation. And then model and justify interpretations of compound expressions. For example, P times quantity 1 plus R to the nth. So we're going to get into that. In week 1, animated PowerPoint resources are animated PowerPoints, video versions, classwork, homework, quiz, test worksheets. Activities and tasks. All class worksheets are closed, exercised from PowerPoints or videos. Homework, quizzes, and test assignments available online with corrections provided after submission dates. Access for all. Available in over 100 languages. Available online 24/7. Closed caption for hearing impaired. Audio for sight impaired. And then our classwork points are 181 points. Note-taking is 64 points. Homework is 441 points of homework. Quiz is 68 points. Test 0 points. No test. Week 1. And then total points for week 1 is 764 points for Math 9, Quarter 1, Week 1. Then modifications and accommodations available online via Google Classroom interface. That is grades, classwork, homework, quizzes, tests, Zoom tutoring on request. Let's go into our assignments for week 1. We start out here with your mid-chapter quiz for chapter 8. This is your pre-test for Math 9, Quarter 1, Week 1. It's a mid-chapter quiz from pre-algebra, and it's 68 points here for your mid-chapter quiz. And then we go into part 1, evaluate expressions, and that's from the standard above that we read into this lesson plan video here. And you got 34 points here of classwork, 16 points of note-taking for 1.1 part 1, and then 1.1 homework. Part 1 is 65 points, 16 points of note-taking, and then we go 1.1 part 2. 1.1 part 2 is evaluate expressions. 35 points on your classwork, no points of note-taking, and then 1.1 homework part 2, and that is 74 points of homework. And then we go off into 1.2 order of operations, apply order of operations, and you got 30 points here classwork, and then 15 points of note-taking here. And then we go further into 1.2 part 1 homework, and there's 84 points of homework, 15 points of note-taking for 1.2 part 1 homework. And then we go into 1.2 part 2 classwork, 22 points, 6 points of note-taking, and then 1.2 part 2 homework, 76 points of homework, 6 points of note-taking for part 2 homework, 1.2 apply order of operations, video and PowerPoint on closed worksheets, note-taking guides. 1.3 we go into writing expressions. 1.3 part 1. Classwork is 34 points, 2 points of note-taking. And then 1.3 part 1 homework, we got 62 points, 2 points of note-taking. And then 1.3 part 2 of classwork is 26 points, 25 points of note-taking. Then we go down here, we finish up here week 1, which is 1.3 homework part 2, and you got 80 points here of homework, 25 points of note-taking for writing expressions part 2. And animated PowerPoint math video at AOL.com for questions, course materials. Thank you very much.